Coming up, a mother is faced with her worst nightmare as a head-on collision leaves her and her family critically injured.
We want to get you to hospital ASAP.
A man suffers serious spinal injuries after falling out of a tree.
Can you wiggle your toes?
That's right.
And grandparents look on in horror after finding their 3-month-old grandson non-breathing.
I think we should give him some fluid and some antibiotics.
In Code 1. In Mission 1, the team are responding to a major car crash involving multiple injured patients.
Oscar 10, copy that. Can we get another transporting ambulance heading that direction, please?
Do you want 3 in total?
Confirm.
2 vehicles have collided head-on. The occupants of one vehicle are believed to be in a critical condition. Fire crews are still trying desperately to extricate 40-year-old Debbie Bell, who is still trapped in her mangled car. 15 minutes flying time north of Auckland at Wellsford.
We've been told that en route there are 5 patients, 2 status 2 patients, and 1 of those is still trapped in the car. So those are the more seriously injured patients. We're now about 5 minutes away from the landing site.
Haddock on the far side of the intersection.
Got it. I can't see any wires going across the paddock.
No, there are none.
Yeah, we're coming into the pad. Clear door.
Roger. Door coming back.
Looks like it's pretty flat apart from the slope.
Door's taken locked.
Roger, apart from the slope to the left, going up. So be careful, guys, walking uphill to the left. Yeah, you've got the slope on the left. Nothing loose, moving forward. Roger. Happy here, guys?
Hey, yep, that's good.
Carl and Dr. Cameron arrive at the scene and take the handover from an on-site doctor.
We had car versus kind of 4x4 drive. There's 5 patients in this car.
Yep.
The 2 tickets, this woman down here.
Yep.
And the woman in the car. The woman down here, I think, is early 20s. Yeah, she's feeling a headache and abdominal pain and right knee pain. The one in the car is just being x-rayed at the moment. She's got an open fracture of her limbs.
While Carl attends to the passenger, Te Huringa, Dr. Cameron heads for her auntie, who is still trapped in the vehicle.
What do you need, Damon? We're going to hold us on. Yep. She's got some pretty nasty leg injuries. She's got a femur exposed. Yeah. So before we move, I just want to get a dose up and some pain. Yeah, definitely.
Cameron's main concern is Debbie's crushed limbs.
A person who's stuck with a limb or limb is crushed under the dashboard of a vehicle, the muscle starts to go bad. When we take the weight off their legs, a lot of those toxins can recirculate back to the rest of their body. That can make them pretty sick and unstable. So that's really what we're aiming to manage at this stage.
Debbie's niece, Te Huringa, has sustained serious internal injuries and will also need immediate hospital care.
So she's status 2, she's status 2, both status 2s.
While Debbie sits helpless in her mangled vehicle, the third passenger, her youngest daughter Amy, just wants her mum. In Mission 2, the team are responding to a status 2 emergency.
About 5 minutes out, are we? A little bit more, we're showing 7.
62-year-old Rowan has fallen 2 meters from a tree. He is suffering excruciating pain caused by a suspected spinal injury. He is being transported to a landing zone via ambulance, 20 minutes flying time southwest of Auckland at Taurua. Reports are that Rowan's condition is slowly deteriorating, so Dr. Andrew prepares for the worst.
Always concerned about head injury, seat spine injury. There's always a risk of internal bleeding. They'll need to get promptly brought to hospital.
Yeah, the park's on the nose low, just on the northern side of the estuary, isn't it? I believe so. That's the ambulance in the field there, isn't it? Looks like it, yeah. Cool.
Northcom Westpac Rescue 1, we're just locating.
We're all good in the back.
You're in the room.
Thank you. There you go, fellas, all yours.
Thank you. No problems.
The Code 1 team arrive and take the handover from an on-site ambulance officer.
Hello.
I'm Andrew, this is Rusty.
Hi, I'm Sandra. We've got a guy who was climbing up an avocado tree, fallen out, hit the ground, but he's complaining of significant pain in both thighs, pain on palpation of the pelvis, just in a lot of pain.
What's his name?
How are you? Rowan?
Let's have a look. Sorry, buddy.
Strings or even just the sheet.
Sorry, mate. Okay.
Sorry.
Rowan's intense pain could be signs of internal bleeding from a pelvis fracture, which, if left untreated, may become life-threatening.
Mazda? He's probably got a pelvis fracture, so we'll make sure the binder is on the stretcher when we... Cool?
Dr. Andrew knows it's time critical for Rowan.
Just gonna come in here with you. Rowan, where are you having pain? The top part of your thigh.
Both sides, or predominantly one's worse than the other?
Okay, it's got a DP. Can you wiggle your toes? Wiggle this one. Peripheral pulses. I have not seen him move this. He says he's trying.
And it hasn't from the start, and it's becoming more and more rotated as time goes on.
Yep. Okay. Rowan?
Rowan's condition has worsened, and it is more likely he has damaged his spine. In Wellsford, paramedic Carl and Dr. Cameron are treating critically injured patients, Debbie and her niece, Te Huringa. They have both been in a horrific head-on collision.
What's your name, sweetie? Debbie. Cameron's my name. I'm one of the emergency doctors from Auckland Hospital. I know your leg's probably pretty sore. Okay, I'm just going to give you a little bit of morphine here.
Debbie's legs have been crushed by the mangled car, and it's still unknown just how bad they are.
Have you ever had morphine before? It can make you feel a bit dizzy, but it's certainly pretty good for pain relief.
While Cameron assists in preparing Debbie for extraction,
3 guys, we need 1, 2, 3 to move her out to the helicopter.
Carl attends to their second patient, Te Huringa.
My name's Carl, I'm an advanced paramedic on the helicopter. I'll be taking you through, okay? The thing we're really worried about is your tummy bruising, okay? There's lots of little organs in there that can be easily ruptured. We want to get you to hospital ASAP. She's got quite significant abdo bruising to her tummy, lower tummy, which is of quite significant concern. Also, she's being knocked out as well. There's also one other that the doctor's looking after at the moment that is also trapped and currently trapped. She's also status 2, has got quite significant lower limb injuries.
So, guys, what we'll do is scoop in behind her, and then we'll just pull her up onto the scoop, onto there. Sound like a plan? Yep.
As the fire crews disassemble the wreckage for extraction, Debbie's ordeal is nearly over.
That dashboard's coming away from your knees now, okay? I'll be sliding you out pretty soon. Just keeping you doing really well. This will be a little bit uncomfortable. We're just moving your knees together, okay, so we can bring you out nice and smoothly. You're doing so well. You still with me? Awesome, girl.
Debbie has been trapped for over 50 minutes. Although out of the wreckage, the extent of her injuries are still unknown. At Tairua, 62-year-old Rowan is in a critical condition after falling from a tree.
Is it sore on this side?
All right. Just deep breath. We're going to give you some pain relief before we do anything more. It's suspected that Rowan's fallen out of an avocado tree, maybe 2 to 3 metres off the ground. He's got severe pain around his pelvis, and there is some rotation of his legs. So we're suspecting he may have a pelvic fracture. We're just getting on top of his pain. Little sting coming up, okay? Keep still, mate.
Is it sore here?
Can you set up a bag of fluids, please?
We can start with some fentanyl and then follow that up with some ketamine.
Leave that there.
Hang in there.
clear up.
You're doing very well, buddy. Okay. I've just given you some medication, and I'm going to give you something stronger in a minute. Just bear with us, okay?
While paramedic Russell Clark prepares a stronger dose of pain medication,
Just gonna cut these off. Sorry, bro.
Dr. Andrew prepares to inject pain relief directly to the damaged area.
Tiny little needle here, okay? So just gonna give you a little pain relief here. Right directly in the area.
Is that pain eased off a little bit? Not a lot. Get some more into you very shortly. Right. I'm going to give you something a bit stronger now. There's a small risk that you'll have some dissociative or hallucinations. Okay, but I don't think you're too worried about that at the moment.
While Rowan's wife, Mary Ann, waits patiently outside the ambulance,
We suspect pelvis, probable femur.
Dr. Andrew identifies the serious nature of Rowan's condition.
If he deteriorates en route, we would give some TXA. Neuro-wise, a little concerned about the right leg. Haven't seen him move it.
No.
With Rowan's condition failing to improve, the team decide to move now.
Maza, we're good to move. It looks like the right leg is the one that's bothering him more, but he does have both sides that are quite sore. Probably got a fracture there. Rowan, is your pain any better than when in the last minute or two? Rowan, how's your pain?
But before Rowan can be transported, a hip splint must be added as extra protection.
How are you feeling? Open your eyes. Good. Okay, what I'm going to do is, if you're happy, Petra, I'm going to give him another 20.
Yeah.
And then,
ketamine.
Yep, ketamine, just before we split it. And that'll make him nice and comfortable. So another 20 milligrams going in now.
Hey.
There we go. So we'll run that through. Straighten your arm out, Rowan.
Rowan.
Straighten your arm out for me.
Straighten your arm.
Just need to get that through.
That's it.
There we go.
With so much pain relief on board, it's no surprise that Rowan is scared and confused.
Hey, Rowan, that's the medication, okay? We're going to load you in the helicopter, okay? All right, and we'll keep on top of your pain. Just relax. Don't be scared, okay?
In Mission 3, crewman Artie Wynyard and the Westpac crew prepare to respond to a Status 1 emergency. 3-month-old Liam is struggling with every breath after his grandparents noticed he was blue and non-breathing. 20 minutes flying time southeast of Auckland at Maramarua. Information is still sketchy, so Artie calls in for any further updates.
South ambulance, we've got a 3-month-old, no sex at this stage, status 2, not breathing, and that's all we've got at the moment. 15 minutes flying time. Yep. In a baby, it's probably maybe some sort of illness like an infection or a high temperature for some reason. I'm hoping this is actually a bit overcalled and it's not as serious as what we seem to be hearing that it is. Right off you, 100 pulse, no match now. Okay. Transponder 202. Clear all premises. Incorrect. Excellent. Thank you. You're clear to ground on the right. Put down here. That's a good spot. Okay.
Both doctor and paramedic arrive and waste no time getting information from ambulance ground crews.
Been coughing and he stopped breathing, so he changed colour. She did some mouth to mouth, approximately 8 breaths, and then he started breathing again. Just before you got here, he dropped right down to a heart rate of 80, and we had to
associated with an apnea.
Associated with an apnea.
What do you think, Bruce? I'd like to take a quick look at him.
Yeah, have a look at him.
I think that's a sensible thing.
Baby Liam has been in and out of hospital over the last 3 weeks for a range of medical conditions, and is now at high risk of deteriorating further.
I think we should give him some fluid and some antibiotics.
How much do you want to give Mike?
Yeah, he needs 100 mils. Okay, stay in line.
At Maramarua, Dr. Mike Nichols and paramedic Bruce Kerr are treating 3-month-old baby Liam after his grandparents found him blue and not breathing.
Apparently the baby has been occasionally stopping breathing, the periods of apnea, so he's had a bit of an infection recently. He was at Middlemore yesterday. We have her stabilised now. We're going through to Starship Hospital. It'll be quicker for us to get there, and it's probably a better place to be at.
Yeah. Okay, later.
While crewman Artie Wynyard helps prepare his grandmother for the flight to hospital,
Aren't reusable.
medic Bruce Kerr and Dr. Mike make final adjustments before Liam is also loaded.
Looked after by his grandmother this morning and appeared to be distressed and stopped breathing.
It's now up to the team to stabilise Liam as best they can. About to be airlifted to Waikato Hospital is 62-year-old Rowan.
1, 2, 3. Yep, get the wheels up.
He suffered a fall from a tree, leaving him with a possible broken pelvis and underlying internal bleeding.
So just confirming the patient's belted in. Confirm. You guys all set?
Yep.
Couple lineups. Road RPM, 100 volts, edged in the green. And compasses are decreasing as we turn right. Couple lineups, blue, thank you. This gentleman has allegedly fallen maybe 2 to 3 metres out of what we suspect was an avocado tree. Suspect injuries to his hip, bilaterally, both sides, as well as his pelvis. The amount of pain he was in was obviously very intense. We've managed to get on top of the pain. There's potential for blood loss, so it's just something we monitored very closely. And we get him to Waikato Hospital, and I'll need to do some x-rays and go from there. Hamilton, Westpac Rescue 1 is now landing Waikato Hospital.
Westpac Rescue 1, thank you.
Finally, Rowan has reached Waikato Hospital, where a team of doctors will assess his condition.
Right, lay put. What we need you to do is keep your arms crossed, and we're going to take you out in a second, okay?
While Russell prepares Rowan for hospital, Dr. Andrew informs his wife, Mary Ann, of his condition.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm one of the doctors. It looks like he's concerned for whether he's broken the long bone in his leg, as well as always a concern about when a fall like this, whether you've broken the pelvis, okay? But the reassuring thing is that he seems to be responding appropriately the way we would expect head injury. Yeah.
So we've taken him into resus at Waikato Hospital, and he's going to undergo some further testing and certainly some imagery of his pelvis and femurs and that, and just to see what extent of damage has been done there. So depending on what they find, and will be the later courses to what sort of treatment he requires and how long his stay in hospital is.
40-year-old Debbie Bell is finally being extracted from her mangled vehicle. She was involved in a head-on crash, leaving her lower limbs crushed.
Debbie, are you still with me? You're doing really well, girl. Open your eyes for me. Okay, you're now on the stretcher. We're going to move you over to by the helicopter and whisk you away.
Her niece, Te Huringa, was also injured and may be suffering internal injuries.
How you doing? Hey, how's that pain? What's the pain out of 10 now? Pretty sore, eh?
While Carl administers the much-needed pain relief, Dr. Cameron finally gets to move his patient, Debbie, across to the waiting chopper, where she is joined with Te Huringa. It's now a 20-minute flight to Auckland Hospital, where both patients will be assessed closely by the hospital team.
Water back and left. Yep.
2 weeks later, Debbie Bell is back home with her children, but remains scarred by the haunting memories of that terrible day.
Well, we were heading back from Whangarei. We'd only been up there for the night to catch up with family, and we were coming back with my niece. It was supposed to be a special night, but we never made it. I saw a black car coming from the other way that just suddenly pulled in front of us. My niece screamed no, I screamed no, and all I'm thinking is how can I protect my babies, how can I protect my niece?
After taking the full impact of the accident, Debbie remembers hearing that reassuring sound.
My daughter screams from the back in the middle. She gasps for air, but she screams, "Mummy." I gasp for breath and I go, "I'm all right, just breathe."
Once she knew her kids were alive, the reality of her condition finally hit home.
How am I going to get out of this? That was the biggest thing, was knowing I still had to be really brave. I knew I wasn't going to get out of that car quickly.
But with the help of fire crews, ambulance and the Westpac helicopter, Debbie was finally extracted and will always be grateful to the ones that saved her and her family that day.
Everybody that did anything for me that day not only got me through that day, but they get me through every day. Because it's not been easy. And I just think about how they all cared. They all cared so much to stop their own lives on that day to make a difference in mine. And so to this day, and from that day forward for the rest of my life, they will be in my heart because they've made a difference in my life.
Te Huringa was cleared of any internal injuries. She spent 2 nights in hospital and was later released. Rowan received surgery for a fractured pelvis. He's still undergoing physiotherapy, but is believed to make a full recovery. Liam made it to hospital and was put on antibiotics, where he stayed for 5 days. He was released and is back home doing fine. And Debbie Bell has some unfinished business with her rescuers.
I'd love to see them in person and hug them and just hold on really tight and just let them know how much it means to me that they were there.